Steve King with you once again, and what I'm going to talk about now is negative core beliefs and certainly their impact on our lives in general, but specifically around self-sabotage. When we think of negative core beliefs, we can think in terms of the difference between negative and positive, what's in our best interest, what isn't in our best interest. We can also talk about the roles of placebo or nocebo, what we believe in, even if we don't know what's in there or scientifically why something works. It may work because we believe it works or we have faith. Likewise, nocebo can also impact us if you believe you've been cursed. If some people think that, they can actually die. Sylvan Tompkins has written papers on that sort of thing, where people in certain countries who believe in curses actually have died as a result or because of a belief as a result. Likewise, when we think of healing. In fact, 1/3 of all healings are said to be by placebo. So we tend to negate that instead of actually utilizing that, which would be a good thing to do, obviously. When we think of our service industry, if you think of treating clients as guests or customers, obviously you're going to get a better rapport with those clients, and obviously they become more long-term, hopefully, as a result. When we think of doctors, what was helpful many years ago that we don't see much of these days was bedside manner. And I only say we don't see much of because obviously doctors don't make home visits a lot anymore. But bedside manner can be the same thing in a hospital. If someone's treated well, with respect, it makes a lot of difference. And therefore we can also be aware that in fact the subconscious mind is therefore actually running the show. The subconscious is more it's a more powerful processor than the conscious mind, in fact. It is a tape player, and often it gets stuck in a loop. So the programming is the source of the problem, and what we need to be able to do is press the record button. So a lot of people have these adversaries in their head, and we need to be able to let them go, because they can cause a lot of grief. We need to continue to free our world by constantly cleaning and clearing so that it doesn't become an army. And that adversarial army needs to be replaced with advocacy, where we're doing things in our own best interest. What about genetics? Well, the gene is a blueprint, and it is a pattern, therefore, not an action. It is either read or not read. The mind reads the blueprint. It's about how it gets expressed, and that is the issue, because the gene is not the limiting factor. The mind is actually the limiting factor. And just like the blueprint of a building where we can change something if we want a door in a different location, we can in fact do the same thing with our own mind. Negative core beliefs are about ability, capability, and deservability. We behave in ways that confirm our beliefs. Paradigms power perceptions, and perceptions power emotions. If you want to know more about that, I would suggest you read Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Don't forget, we've discussed already about cellular memory in fears, phobias, anxieties, traumas, and addictions. Also discussed about the first 6 years where a person's egocentric and therefore in a theta state where they can learn more. And that's like just before going to sleep. I would recommend also reading Messages from Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto, recognizing that the impact of thoughts, of statements or images impact the crystallized patterns of water. But don't forget, we are 70% plus water, therefore our thoughts get impacted, and our body gets impacted, and our health gets impacted. Visualization, don't forget we can use tapas acupressure technique and emotional freedom technique, etc., for clearing and for installation of what we would like. We can use vision boards, we can use mind movies, have subliminal work done, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I would also remind you of the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, well worth taking with you wherever you go and thinking about. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity, including to yourself. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Then you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Number 3, Don't make assumptions. Avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. And number 4, always do your best under any given circumstances, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Thanks for listening.